Mucho Amor Lifestyle Podcast, Love, Peace and Happiness, and I'm having a special guest, Tatiana Carvalho, and today we're going to talk a little bit in a very spontaneous session about veganism, because you have been an expert. Maybe introduce the audience yourself in a sentence.
In a briefly,
Yeah.
well, expert is very relative, but once to my lifestyle and regarding animal caring, I took this choice since I was young. I haven't been too strict with it. That's what I believe. Take it as it comes, and always seeking to be a better person in all the senses.
Nice.
And I think it's not only about the vegan diet; it's about all the best choices that don't harm the planet. Yeah.
Also, the world is very fast turning, and there are a lot of health issues, and often they're linked to our food. And yeah, also veganism is a point, or too much meat production. Do you think there is a link in between?
Of course. And I think nowadays, with all the information we have, of course, we link the current diseases to the lifestyle we have, and that starts pretty much with the food. Unfortunately, since we are babies, especially the new generations, they are fed with additives that should not be. And then I believe pretty much, this is a personal opinion, about all the energy, how we raise food, how we also the stress that we live with, how the people that they eat the meat is not only about the way they consume, the way they produce, but how the animals they are treated. Everything, I believe, that has a link, all the hormones and all the adrenaline that is released on the meat and that we are consuming afterwards, because this is always, in my personal opinion, the aim about eating is to feed us and the nutrition, and we have been raised that we are forgetting about this important thing. Eating is not only to cover our emotions. We should eat when we really need. We should not overeat, and we should seek to eat and to eat what actually makes sense in our body physiognomy. I think it's pretty much like that.
Yeah, very good point. And that's only one point which speaks in a way for veganism. Also, when we talk about the farmland and all the production, I hear very often arguments like from pro meat eaters, and I have to say I'm 90% I'm vegan. I eat sometimes meat, and I felt like when it comes to the intake, what we just talked about, the nutritional intake, when I eat too much meat, I feel very tired. And then also comes the conscious mind. How is everything produced? As you said, we don't have this conscious mind anymore, because back in the days we were hunters, and that's an argument. Oh, but we have it from our instinct that our instinct is to survive and to eat.
Yes.
So this argument does not count anymore, because nowadays we go into a supermarket, into the discounter, we buy a meat packed up in plastic for less than a salad is, like $2-3. That's not sustainable, and this is what we have to think about. Back in the days, we had to hunt the meat, we had to kill it, and everyone who is able to do it, I respect it in a way. I, as you said, don't be too aggressive on the marketing. But then the next step is the farmland.
Yes, the stock,
Yeah.
the slaughterhouses, and we take a focus on the veganism. Of course, for me, I would prefer that we all be vegan, the world will go vegan, but it's not only about being vegan, it's actually the consumption, that we need to be more sustainable. We have vegan products, and they are also packed in plastic, so it's also a big problem.
Good point.
And we have to seek to do a little bit better each day. So when I say to not be aggressive, I believe that to construct the peaceful mind, we need to build up in peace too, and to have a kind of a flexibility to understand that we don't see what we believe. We are since we need to have a bit of flexibility that sometimes people, they are not conscious and they have a behavior that is totally wrong regarding the species health and welfare. But for another hand, if people, they don't see it, they don't know what they are doing, and it's a bit like this. Then of course regarding all the food production, our big problem today is that in our society we are stimulated to have an overconsumption more than we need. We waste too much independently. So for me, we should actually be conscious when we are throwing away animals, when we are throwing away plants, and all of this. At least if you are eating meat, I'm not here being aggressive to you. I understand that you have that need. It's something that I don't want to myself. I have my, if you ask me about it, of course you're going to know why. But at least be conscious about it and eat it with respect.
Yeah.
You know,
we shouldn't be cruel to the world, and especially to animals. And lately I had an argument with a guy who was super pro eating meat, and then I told him, you know, it's hard. If I would have to slaughter the animal myself with my hands, see the blood running out, and then he get me the argument, yeah, but a plant has senses as well. It has emotions, maybe. So
yeah,
what's your point on that?
It's a common argument, and this is also when what we do when we don't have a contra argument. Generally, if you point me something wrong, I will point you something wrong, so compensates. If I am wrong, if you are wrong, then I can be wrong too, and this is not the way we should think.
And we could point fingers on everything. Believe me, there is nowadays the information level is so high. There would be arguments against everything, but I think deep in ourselves we actually know. Like I have my grandparents have been farmers, you know, and I have been sometimes there, and I looked the pig in the eye, and I know this pig doesn't even. It had a really good life, you know. They were ethically farming. Still though, I saw the animal looks you in the eye, and
it's terrible.
It is not. He knows exactly, or it knows exactly what's going on, and that it's gonna die soon. So this is for me not an argument. A plant regrows actually, and I think this is not a good argument. But still, as you say, you can point a finger.
We can point. We can talk about what is actually being a sentient being, and of course, when we think about the trees and the plants, of course, I think when the earth is crying is when we are chopping all the trees without any reason, or because we want to build up, and we don't respect the harmony of the nature, because everything grows in a way, in a sense that our ecosystem lives in harmony, and the way we are interacting with the world, the way we humans are using our technology, and we are actually underestimate the natural harmony that is built up in the nature. Everything it's perfectly made, and we think with our cleverness, with artificial intelligence, we are going over that. We are totally wrong. And of course, for me, I'm not. If even I pick a flower, I do my sense like, may I pick you? Of course, when we think about plants, there is always something to say about it. We can talk about the soy production. Most of the soy production is actually for the cattle.
Yes, exactly.
It's not for vegetarians, and unfortunately.
Often the soy production which we actually eat comes basically from local farmers. Like in Germany, we are very good, I guess, on the veganism. We are one of the top, but also we are one of the worst when it comes to garbage and whatever. We produce a lot of garbage, but that's not an argument, because most of the soy production is used for, especially in countries like Brazil, or where you have a lot of rainforests, so it's used for the cattle feed, the mass production. The
soy and the monocultures, and yes, this has to do because we are way too many, and beside this, that we are way too many, we consume like for 2, 3, or 4 people each person. I would say like this. It's extremely how we are stimulated to consume, how all the expiry dates that all this propaganda makes, that we believe that everything is not edible anymore. No, it's everything is made on this economic spiral or whatever that makes us go after food and then waste food, and just for money, like a money maker. And then we are, then this is our problem. But regarding, I know that for me, I don't want any harm with the animals, but also we need to have this respect. Like I've been doing dumpster diving, and I was so shocked. This was very good for me. Was in Norway, and that is a country that is actually known has to be so environmentally friendly. But was actually a documentary that caught my attention. So it was tons of food that yearly like is thrown, is wasted. And then I'm going to supermarkets and check, and just one banana was rotten, so the whole package was thrown away. And this is everything how it goes with yogurts, that whatever that doesn't look good, but they can be actually reused. And there are a few programs like in Denmark, they even have a restaurant with dumpster diving, and they use it in the restaurant. They do the profit for charity, and this is a beautiful thing that should be more stimulated to happen.
I want to encourage, it's a very good point, everyone, because I'm doing it very often. Almost every supermarket in the world, and I have been to many countries, have like a corner where you get reduced food, and you can first of all save so much money. And like sometimes you get big packages of food for a dime, and then you have ripened fruit like mango, bananas, whatsoever, and it is such a joy to first of all get it cheaper and save
faster.
the food, you know. And this awareness also on certain foods, you know, just because you're vegan, we touched this point today when we talked about veganism, it's not automatically good, and you have to consider so many things. Like it starts in the morning, what kind of toothpaste you're using, are avocados or pistachios good? I know there may be a good source for your body, but is it environmentally friendly? So we should always do it in a balance, because otherwise we will be selfish, and that's destroying our planet too.
I mean, even the way we use the water, this is also a very good point. It's so many things that we have to think about it, that we cannot be 100% harmless. That's how we became. Unfortunately, it's like this. I would love to go back in the years. It's not an easy life. It's very easy. It's actually very nice when we say, oh, I want to grow my food. No, it's like with the old techniques, no pesticides. It's something that you need actually to be ready for it, but it's a beautiful process. The doing yourself instead of buying. And then we actually
research and the knowledge collection, it is actually really beautiful, because we get involved, as you said, with the technologies, with everything, but we don't know our human body anymore. Like, how is our teeth structure, our digestive system? It's not made actually for meat, like a lion or whatever. And these are arguments, you know, which I don't know what animal or meat lovers say, but the digestive system is not made actually for the meat processing.
Meat in general, and also of course our body, more and more we listen about like the IBS and the allergies that out of the sudden everyone has allergies.
Cancer also
the cancer, of course. This has to do with a holistic approach. I always say it's not only what we eat, but it's the stress, all the emotions, and of course we are eating pesticides. It's ridiculous when we go through our ingredients list and you just have all the E sequence.
Exactly, we don't know our products anymore. Check the fucking labels.
And the water that we are drinking. Well. So everything is like more than a vegan approach. It's more like or in a health way. It's very difficult nowadays, but instead of comparing ourselves with the others, we need just to compare ourselves and compete with ourselves, and be a bit.
We start with ourselves and not pointing fingers like we had it when I see super aggressive vegan protests or whatsoever, and I'm like, as we said, you should not point a finger to someone else. Try to be a good example and lead, you know, because by leading, and I figured it out myself too, like when I ate a lot of meat, I was more tired, and especially it was on a phase where I did a lot of boxing, a lot of sports, and then I switched to veganism, and I really could change my training to 2 times a day with a lot of antioxidants, with a lot of awareness on the food. It's in my opinion, a way everyone has to figure out, and then, as you said, it brings a lot of pleasure as well, because you get to know the real foods, and
Indeed, yes, but it's not we also think because I'm being vegan and then I stop being vegan, I'm not being hypocrite.
Yes. And it's very hard. Like,
it's very
again,
hard. It's for
like,
some reason you fell, or I don't feel I don't like it. I know it's something that is not good for my body, and I know that I'm contributing for something that I don't want.
Yes. And
but
then on
I've
the
been
other
there.
hand side,
I've been there.
maybe I'm wearing. I ordered like tailored shoes in Budapest, you know, with made from leather. I mean, there are more alternatives, but sometimes also we have to think about it. Not everyone is in a super fortunate position as we, that we could afford like all these alternatives. And as soon there is more awareness on it and it gets cheaper, then I think it's a more wide range. It's the industry which also hides a lot from us and doesn't open the opportunities now. But I think there's a really good movement, and that's why we want to encourage everyone to be more aware on that.
Those small changes every day.
Yeah.
If you cannot be and feel radical, don't make so much pressure on you, and try to, instead of stopping, if you are not able, if you don't see it, if you don't feel it, you need to give time, because things, they need to be integrated. It's not easy to. I stopped with meat when I was 13. I read meat when I was 10, and then slowly I was like for many years eating fish. And I was like, why to not eat fish? Then I start to get information about it.
There's this
and then I feel
amazing documentary, what is it called? Cowspiracy, and the other one is with the Seaspiracy. Yes. And I encourage everyone to watch it. It's pretty hard, but
you
it's
feel
the
it.
reality.
Exactly. You need to feel it and to integrate and to have a balance in this. And at least if you're not able to stop eating animal products, you just reduce and not waste, and have respect and try to go. What is really difficult nowadays, because we cannot only believe what label says. There is also this propaganda. They are not happy cows. They are not happy pigs. It's not like we see.
As I touched already. But quickly about the nutritional income, because there are arguments. Vegans do not get enough vitamin D12. What are your suggestions, maybe? Or vegans do not get enough proteins, which I have to smile about, because...
No, I think nowadays, especially a long time ago, we didn't have the information regarding nutrition. And what we've been eating, independently which kind of diet we had, we didn't care so much about protein or greens. So we have the omnivore diets, and people, they don't think, oh, today I'm going to eat my sausage because it's a protein, or I'm going to eat this steak because it's a protein. Now we eat food, and generally, and this depends a lot on the countries, all the seasonal productions, like before it was a little bit more like this, but especially when I'm living in Norway, it's very hard to get nutrition from the greens.
Yes.
I don't have enough fibers,
yeah.
And this is what I struggle with. It's not because I'm vegan. I struggle because I don't have access to the farm, to the ideal kind of vegetables that I should get when I'm in
Greenhouse
south of Europe.
Or whatever,
Yes, and they are important, and they are important. They can by plane and all this. But regarding nutrition nowadays, we are more than informed. Like we use Google for something, for everything.
Yes. Why not to use it for the real?
In search for it, independently which kind of diet you have, you need to search to have a variety. And to have the combination of the proteins or amino acids that it satisfy your what you use up as energetic, because also depends
on your
how is your
body.
activity level.
Yes.
So it's a bit like.
But there are really good examples of very successful sportsmen, like I think Lewis Hamilton.
The strongest man in the world is vegan.
The strongest man in the world.
Vegan.
I think he's German. Indian, I'm not quite sure, but I think
not German. Not everything is German.
Not everything is German. Okay, but we are very efficient on that, to say. And truly, there is a lot of options. I think even Mike Tyson turned for a while plant-based.
Yes, because the combination of the legumes with the fibers, and people say I have digestive problems due to the consume all this fiber, but then you start to compensate and give time to the body to digest it. We need time because everything is adaptation.
And also it's a very healthy thing. For example, if you have to fart a lot, it's a healthy system. It's a natural system. I don't know why we are...
Be proud on farting.
You're proud of farting? Okay, that's her new label.
This is just it's my new t-shirt.
Yeah.
No, it will be, it's a joke, but it's like when we were talking about farting, because we're talking about fiber, and of course the legumes, they have phytochemicals that makes you this uncomfortable because it's uncomfortable, and there are people they digest more legumes than other. So you have your techniques. You soak them pretty well in water. You can use kombu. You can use seaweed leaf
that
in the
could
water.
be a good option
Yeah,
for another
bicarbonate.
episode. We could, like,
Yeah.
I think,
All these
jump in.
techniques that you improve, you're gonna slowly improve. And tofu, for example, everything is soy. I know there is soy, and soy sometimes is not the best option regarding, especially for women, estrogen level building. But then you start to compensate. Instead of soy tofu, you can make your chickpea tofu. So nowadays it's like it's a world. It's easy to
We are
access to
very,
it. And
it's very, everything is very accessible.
yeah.
Amazing. Maybe, do you have Instagram or whatsoever where people could shoot you some questions? Maybe I know you have you started some, like, a small cooking channel or whatsoever.
Yeah,
Because I think it's super interesting, and I know I learned a lot from you, from techniques. Maybe not.
Maybe it's
You're
my next.
accessible.
It's a new suggestion for my next Instagram.
Nice.
I'm a bit disconnected and been doing some pop-up kitchen.
But I think
and
you would
it's,
help a lot
but
of
it
people
would
out
help
there,
if I
for
would
sure.
take this direction also with the education in what I like, and it's something that I really do with pleasure.
Yeah.
But at the moment my Instagram is very basic, and it's
Yeah.
just I'm not good at pictures, or I'm not making so much awareness of what I eat. I have some pictures of food that I do on my daily basis. My daily basis. I
And
mean,
you showed me some amazing recipes, like
Yes.
protein balls, like this, one of my favorite.
The raw, yeah, it's true.
The raw, and so don't be shy on that.
Yeah.
I will say, I will encourage you
Yeah.
as well. And everyone out there, don't be shy on using too good pictures or whatsoever, because that's also a fake world, and we should be open
That's
more. We work without
exactly.
filters, and that's what also this talk is about, in my opinion. To be more aware about the world, to be showing it with others. And if you're interested, super, shoot us questions. If not, go your way. But instinctively, I think everyone knows it, and following certain steps, it's a way of living. And Tatiana, thank you so much for
You're very welcome,
taking
Simon.
your precious time. I think we touched all points. Maybe you have a book or a public figure you can suggest everyone to follow to get more deep into this topic.
Well, I will go very shortly. There is Gary. He's an activist. You can find it pretty much as actually just on YouTube. It's very interesting. He's a little bit more sharp. He's an activist, and he goes deeply. So he will encourage you definitely. But he was one of the persons that make me go vegan instead of being vegetarian. I said okay after this, and then he will also regarding. Melanie Joyce,
Yeah.
she has a TED talk about carnism awareness. So it's a concept that she developed in university. She's Canadian. Actually, I met her in Lisbon, and it's pretty much like that.
Cool.
I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
And to sum it up, there's this argument: be strong like an ox. But guys, think about it. It
And
comes
that's
in the
like
meat
avocado
industry.
then.
And strong like an ox in the meat production is a stupid argument, because the strongest animals
They are plant-based.
Yeah, we have,
it's true.
Yeah,
Gorillas,
think
they
about it.
are
Gorillas,
plant-based,
oxes, and
yeah.
they're like strong.
Yes.
So yeah, do your choice wisely and think about the environment. Tatiana, thank you so much.
You're very
I
welcome.
give you a hug, and follow up for the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.